Today on MacSog Adventure International, we will be reviewing and assembling Jim Egner's Space-O-Matic. There's a lot of good things to unpack, so let's get started. Alright, opening the box, this is what we get. We get a bag with paperwork consisting of decals and let's see, certificate of authenticity. We don't want to risk getting fakes. And the instructions on assembly. And of course, we have the parts. Let me lay these parts out so you can see clearly what comes in the box. And here are the parts all laid out. We have a small bag with the little bits in it, and the main structure, and a little bag of hardware. All the parts seems to be printed very well. Doesn't have any kind of defects or misprints on it as expected. And these tracks, which are fixed, they're not like rolling functional tracks, so keep that in mind. So, you know, basically this is a static model, and we are going to go on the next part, which is the first phase of assembly. All right, so the parts you'll be getting is probably going to have a little bit of flashing from the 3D printing, like this little flashing right here. That came from the printer bed, and you'll have to trim that. It is a kit, so, but it's very easy to do. You're probably going to want to trim these edges off, since it sort of has a lip, as you can see there, for proper fitting of other parts. And if there's any kind of functioning moving parts, it's probably a good idea to trim those out. Anyway, let's proceed. Now for tools, it's very minimal. I've elected to use your basic X-Acto knives and some jewelry files like this. Okay, so that's a specialized X-Acto knife right there. You probably don't need something like that, but I do have it. And basic X-Acto knives. And if there's any additional tools on top of this, I will mention it later. But for now, I think this will suffice. All right, now we come to the glue. But first, let me just reiterate that this is not a tutorial. That would involve a much longer video. Anyway, Jim did provide very good instructions to assemble this Space-O-Matic. However, he did mention using hot glue to assemble the parts. That I thought was kind of unusual, because I've never heard of assembling a model with hot glue. Anyways, other glues might work great. I think maybe Gorilla Glue might be good, and like cyanoacrylate or super glue. But I chose two-part epoxy. This is the JB Weld brand, because I think this might work well also to fill in gaps, and it also gives you time to align the parts as needed. I also chose to use a solvent type glue by Plastruck. This works well with the plastic used because it melts the surface and bonds it together, which I think is the best type of glue you could find. And also on that note, don't use the tester's model glue. That does nothing. You might as well try to use water. And on an unrelated note, I did use sandpaper on top of the jeweler's file that I used to trim and clean the surfaces. Alright, so I discovered a potential problem area here. When you first get this part, there's a high likelihood that the support that goes over this notched area is still there. And so what it's going to do is it's going to look like a flat area that's like this, that continues straight out and then like that, right? And if that's the case, you're going to be confused as how that's supposed to notch underneath the that white structure that I've just assembled there for the Space-O-Matic. So what you will have to do is use a sharp tool to go into the little serrated area that's going to appear, and then just pry it up and just start removing all that material. When you remove the upper layer, it's going to reveal like what looks like a waffle pattern. You have to remove that as well until it's flat like that, because you're going to need that to be flat. Okay, so that's the profile right there. That's going to be the profile that you're looking for. You need that to be clean like that so that it will notch underneath here. And those little pointy details there is like a key that will indicate the orientation. So it will key right in there, and I will show that on the next video. Alright, so now we're gonna put this blue sub chassis underneath here. We're gonna try to do it while I'm manipulating the camera here, which is kind of crazy. So as you recall there, that's the profile you're looking for, right? Normally there's a high probability that won't be notched like that, and you'll have to remove material. And so what it is it's going to, because it needs to notch right in there. Right there. You see it? You see that? That's what you're looking for. So it notches in there, and now you can glue it in there, and it's going to be in the right position. You see that? And now with that done, you can be able to install the track material, or the track pieces, and we're almost done. Okay. All right, so I discovered another kind of potential problem spot here. If you notice the way the tracks have to be oriented, and to clear those ledges there you see on the side, you have to put several washers. And it's kind of funny, it's not even, because on this side here I had to put 2 washers there, 3 washers there, and 2 there. But then here on this side I have to put 3 there, 4 there, and 3 washers there, just to get it to just to get the track to sort of orient itself properly so it clears all the ledges. You see, it has to clear this ledge here, because without the washers, you can see what's going to happen if you just screwed it in without the washers. Okay, so either Jim needs to redesign the blue chassis part so that no washer is necessary, or he needs to include that many washers with the screw sets that he provides with the kit. Other than that, that's how far we've gotten. Still needs a few pieces, but I think we're pretty much 90% there, and then we're off to decals. Okay guys, so this is the Space-O-Matic all assembled and everything with all of its extra attachments. All in all, it's a fairly easy build. If you've got any kind of experience building plastic models, pretty much that's all the kind of skill sets you're gonna need to get yourself through this. Of course, the more experience you have with model building, the better your results are. But I feel personally that basic modeling skills would get you through this build. It's just cleaning parts, which has got the minor flashings on it, but other than that, really you should be okay. Now, having said that, I am an advanced model builder. I'm a toy designer, so this was I had all the tools and everything, so this was fairly easy. The main attachment that I like to put in, which is what appears in the commercials for the Space-O-Matic back in the 1970s, has the magnetic piece on there that Jim included. I just elected to put carpet double-sided tape to attach it, which is very strong, and it allows me to remove it if I should feel like I should replace it with whatever else. And noticeably, I did print my own decal sheet. That's mine. Jim does include a sticker sheet with it, but it's mostly NASA centric, and I wanted mine to be more adventure themed, so all the decals you see here are all my design. And basically it attaches via these two pegs. You get a forklift attachment, and that works with this cradle, and I've put that sticker on there. Hazardous material, retrieval use only, and it basically can lift it up. This arm does go up and down. Okay. And lastly is this like a plow attachment. Goes right there. Hopefully you can see that. Now I wanted to attach more decals, but one thing about 3D printed parts is when you want to attach a decal to something that's rounded like this, because of the little striations during printing, decals have a hard time adhering to the surface. So if you want to put decals on anything that has rounded surfaces on it, you might want to try out like water slide decals with a decal softening solvent that you find in most model making hobby shops. And for a closer look, everything functions. Got the Space-O-Matic arm, and that's the decal, the additional decals that I've made for the armrest, which is just small, simple instrumentation. And another look at the bottom, fully assembled. Now I did mention that you have to put washers to install the tracks properly, so that your tracks basically are aligned vertically, perfectly vertically, like that. And other than that, there's not very many hiccups during the build, and it's can't say it enough, it's fairly straightforward build. Shouldn't be anything complicated. I built this to a toy standard, not quite a super hyper realistic model, but that's the look I was looking for, because I wanted this to go perfectly with all the adventure team stuff that I have that are vintage and custom. And on the next shot, we are going to show you how it looks like with a figure. And here it is with a pilot. This Space-O-Matic is a really great piece that Jim Egner undertook to produce. It's very impressive once you got it all together, and it's actually bigger than I thought it was going to be. All the parts, like I said, are nicely printed, and I think you're going to be happy with it. It's something for the history books, because, you know, Hasbro, as you all know, did not produce the Space-O-Matic, and this is probably the only chance you'll get to add one to your collection. And you know, I know Jim is almost done with the edition that he planned to release for the Space-O-Matic, but I am hoping that that only means that he's planning to produce these in other colors, because I think this would look great in a Adventure Team yellow or orange or what have you. I would love to see the tracks molded in black or like gunmetal gray, and like the lifting arms to be in gray, and then the rest of the machine in combinations of like yellow or orange. You know, I think that would look really awesome. You know, the uses for this in a toy scenario is limitless. It doesn't necessarily have to be for space use. You know, I can see this working alongside the MSV for retrieving radioactive whatever. Anyway, you know, it's been a great little fun build, and not sure how many he's got left. From what I understand, it's only about a handful left, and hopefully Jim does elect to continue to produce this in different colors. Anyway, guys, that's what I got for you today, and thanks for sticking with this somewhat long video, and I'll see you on the next one.